This is Conversations That Matter on Mid-Morning Delight with Haone.
All right, let me take this time to welcome you to the show, Mogapi. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us, to agree to have this conversation with us this morning.
Good morning, Haone, and thanks for having me.
All right, awesome stuff. Following a flyer that we also on social media, a lot of people were hyping the debate which was set to happen on the 4th, and I do understand that you were one of the people that were behind the putting together of this particular event. We did see a joint media advisory from the government of Botswana as well as the DBS group that was just indicating that the government is not for this sort of things to happen. Somebody who has been, putting together all of this, I think one of the things that I really was asking myself is, Mogapi, did the government really pressure the panelists to pull out of, this debate, or was it just, an excuse to avoid a potentially embarrassing debate, seeing that this is not something that a lot of us, are quite, informed on?
I don't know why the government really felt even the need to issue a press release that they were not involved, them and DBS, because from the first instance, they were not part of the debate. We had invited the minister a week or two ago, the Minister for Minerals, and he said no, he would not be available, and he was going to be engaged elsewhere. And then we left them there, and then we continued. We put together a panel that consisted a site holder, that consisted a public finance expert, an economist, and a representative from the Mine Workers Union. There were 5 panelists, and all of them, they were people who were really versed with issues around the diamond industry. We felt that we needed a debate that would go beyond the blast, the sound bites that we've been listening to and hearing from every corner. And unfortunately, what they came, and this was a day before yesterday and also yesterday morning, they pulled out. Basically, they came to us and said the pressure was too much on them. The pressure was too much on their employers. And then now the employers were basically telling them that the Botswana government is not happy. And once the Botswana government is not happy, they have no choice, even as they wished and wanted to continue, but to pull out. Look, Botswana government, we know the role that they play in this economy. They are a very powerful government in every sector of the economy, and even more so on the diamond industry. And the people that we are talking about, most of them would have come from diamond-related sectors.
All right.
But so it is. It's a pity. It is our view. The government would say theirs, but we feel very strongly that statesmanship has been used to muzzle free public speech by citizens, and that's very, very wrong.
All right. And in the joint media advisory, the government stated that this is a very important negotiation, and they wouldn't want to sort of jeopardize whatever it is that is at the table currently. And we do know that there are people who critique the government every single day, and these are people who feel like, this is politically motivated. This is not the government. I mean, anybody in the right mind, if I may put it like that, not to sound rude or anything like that, would, be for this kind of information being, put out for the people to know, for people to, know more about the diamond industry. Do you really think this is the government, or this is, as some people put it, politically motivated?
You know that statement alone from government, for me, it's a paradox. It's an irony that the government is saying this is a very, very important negotiation going on. This is a very, very important moment. And then go on to demonstrate in a way that the government, the citizens actually should not even be part of it, isn't it? Isn't that ironic? It's really paradoxical. Look, the people who are buying Botswana diamonds, by far they are not in this country. And these are the people who would be in America, who would be in Japan, who would be in Europe. And I doubt they would like to hear that the diamonds they are buying are actually being used to muzzle freedom of speech. I doubt it. I mean, government would maybe want to say something to that. And they would really hate to hear that actually, in a way, they are sponsoring a government and a company that see nothing wrong muzzling a freedom of speech surrounding those diamonds. You see what I'm saying? That is, I really shudder to think what that would lead to if this thing is to really deteriorate beyond what it has already done. I don't think the government realized, because this thing started almost a week ago when behind the scenes there were exchanges between Botswana government and DBS to the effect that DBS was sponsoring this particular debate. Can you imagine? That was a lie. That was a lie, let me say. And then this is a government that seems to get some pleasure from knowing that its citizens are so poor that we are unable to bring together a public debate. I mean, and they seem to get some pleasure from it, so much so that they think only the BS can sponsor us to be able to host this debate.
All right.
I mean, and this is Botswana. I can't believe we have people at the office of the president who can think and derive any pleasure from thinking that way.
And speaking of sponsorship, Mogapi, who was the sponsor for this particular event?
We didn't need any sponsorship. I'm telling you, all we needed was to pay for the university hall at the village. Yeah, we are not going to even be buying people food. All we did, we bought water. It's already there. We didn't need a sponsorship. Because it was very clear now that the government was going to use to try to punch anybody who was trying to lend a hand. Right now, I hear stories of people being called. Can you imagine government has time for such silly things, to call people to say they were sponsoring this debate? Why can't they call me? Why can't they call Sheila Khama? Why can't they call the other organizers there, the Botswana Italians Forum, to say who gave you the money? We didn't even need a lot of money. All we needed was 12,000 pula to pay for the hall. So did we need to get that much money from DBS? I mean, this is a government that derives any pleasure from knowing that its citizens are so poor as to be unable to afford 12,000 to pay the hall at the University of Botswana.
All right. Mogapi, there's another view that, the government may be afraid to, of being exposed for handling its negotiations with DBS, which some people term it as being detrimental to the country's interest. What is your take on, all of this? Why does this seem to be Botswana sipirisa khomo ya phitlhela like this?
I'll tell you, this debate, among other things, was going to dissect the quality of the two negotiating teams. Because we know who they are now. What we don't know is what item by item they are discussing, but we know who sits in that team. We were going to discuss the quality. Is Botswana's team a match, for example, to the DBS quality? Those are the things that, among other things, were going to be discussed. We were going to discuss this thing about, look, Botswana has this very, very important asset that is being deliberately mystified, including chiefly by its government. People are so petrified. They don't want to talk about the diamonds. Yes, the diamonds are so important, so central to the economy of this country. And right now, the economy is not doing well. You just have to go to the website, Bank of Botswana, to check this. Check how the Pula Fund there is doing. You will be shocked. It goes to show that the economy is not doing well. And then beyond that, just look at the financial statements of all these parastatals who are so central to the economy. Many of these parastatals have literally become insolvent, including Botswana Power Corporation and others. They are so distressed because the economy is not doing well. And then when we want to talk about what thing can lift the economy, what thing has sustained the economy over the years, we are being told, no, this is not the time for you to talk about that. Not this time. We are at a sensitive one. And yet we are not even participants ourselves to the negotiations. We are just Botswana there calling other Botswana and say, okay, let's get to hear what we can think amongst ourselves, and maybe somebody will get to listen or hear and take it up front. then that is being criminalized. So sad, isn't it?
I'm also wondering. I mean, we live in an age where discussions like this can happen anywhere, really, anytime. And I'm one of the people that actually ask themselves, should the organizers have taken a stronger stance and maybe resisted any pressure from the government or other parties to cancel the debate? Maybe Twitter spaces and all of that. If the panelists never super even at work, there are hands behind. You shouldn't allow your people to be taking part in this debate. As a patriot, what do you think maybe should have happened? Should the organizers, I mean the panelists, have taken a stronger stance and maybe resisted any pressure from the government?
We considered that. Look, there was no pressure on me as a chief organizer. Let's say there was totally no pressure on me. I didn't feel it, but the pressure was on the panelists, and we considered the 3 pulled out, 2 were left. For example, we considered a scenario where we would have to take Sheila Khama into becoming one of the panelists and removing her from being a moderator, and I. Chipping in. But in the end, we also decided against it and said there will still be too few voices. What we needed was a diversity of voices, multiple voices representing different sectors. That would, in the overall, amount to a very good quality, very robust debate that would be benefit to Botswana. We didn't want a situation where we just held a debate for the sake of it, where Botswana would not be any wiser after leaving the debate room. So that we decided against it because we will still organize this thing. It will be done properly. In the end, it will happen. But we didn't want to just rush it for the sake of just convenience or experience. No, we didn't want that.
You're one of the people that I have been, following very closely. I mean, you speak about, the economy of Botswana being in shambles, going on a downward spiral like that. And, this obviously. Let me just, ask you this, Mogapi. Is the government acting in the best interest of its citizens by demanding a bigger share of the diamond mining profits? I know this is a topic in Ohuruntu and we follow. Like I say, I've been following some of your opinions. Or is it risking the stability of the industry and the country's economy?
Look, there's nothing wrong Botswana government demanding more. In fact, every Botswana wants Botswana government to demand more. But in doing so, every Botswana also demands stability of the diamond sector. For example, President Masisi announced that Botswana government has invested money into a company called HB Antwerp. These were the issues that we were going to discuss at that particular panel discussion. Does it make sense, for example, for Botswana government to be buying more shares in Antwerp when there are other more stable companies here, for example, who are cutting, polishing, but also very much involved downstream? Why can't we try to be involved? Those are the issues, part of the issues. If you put in, for example, 500 million in a company that is 4 years old, when there is no medicine in our hospitals, does it make sense, for example? And then another issue that was going to come out is, look, they are saying they've done some due diligence in this company. Due diligence in a 4-year-old company does not mean looking at the 2 people at the front office. We are talking about people behind the scenes who are the promoters. Because the diamond industry, I'll tell you how it's an industry that has so many shady characters in it. I'm telling you the truth. It's not the cleanest industry in the world. It has so many shady characters lurking around it. And it's very, very important that when you are involved in it, you know who you are talking to. Because you could be talking to Spencer Mogapi while behind Spencer Mogapi is Khaone. You see what I'm saying?
No, I hear you.
Those are the things that you really have to know where the power lies in the line there, or the things that you are involved in. So those are the issues that we are going to interrogate at this particular panel discussion. Unfortunately, it was not allowed to pass. But what saddens me the most is that you are a journalist there, and this happened when you guys are celebrating the
World Press Freedom Day.
Yeah. Free speech was literally muzzled, and I can tell you, this is written in the ground for people to start talking about boycotting our diamonds because they are being used as a pretext to muzzle freedom of speech.
All right, I'm going to quickly take one or two phone calls. Mogapi, please be quick when you call in. Go straight to the question or the comment in what you wish to share with us this side. 3956962 3956962. Here's a message that says, "Can you ask Mr. Mogapi what he thinks about the fact that BDP refuses to pass a private public party funding legislation, and the fact that DBS has funded BDP and its leader in the past will embarrass the government and DBS." All right. Gabz FM, you're live. Good morning. Hi.
Hello?
Hi, sir. How are you?
Everything.
You're live on air.
Hey, kupale mpese baka ke a huhula, ke a lela, kuri kuitsori. Spencer, mo pointing ya I buileng e leng gore e define lehatsi la rona ke ya gore, dude, does this government take pleasure mo goreng we are so poor that someone can't pop out that mere 12,000 to organize a panel discussion? That thing, ika arabiwa hela ke gore, o bona this thing of poverty, it's a hela mo leadership in individual. Gore motho o motsa from Norway wa go motsenya mo maemong a go godimo a ba tagwa ke maemo a ba ipotsa gore ha nna ke khona go flya go tswa ha go ya Cape Town o ta vouta go tikante mshathos o tsa ka imadi. Why? It's because that person has never raised a 2.1. He couldn't afford 2.1 to trek a flight ticket from Gaborone to Maun. And he thinks kuri Botswana ba puo kanti ene ke no incompetent. And that's a poverty mentality. Anyway, re tshela ka yone, and it hurts so deep that now re bereka batho go nna go lebile go te heaven ke gore mongwe hela yo go godimo kile hata a tsena hela I'm a business person a tsena a bona ke improve ke thabulutse my business ke expand a re bana o tsaya ka imadi ne mo.
Okay, all right,
kana ke ra motho wa ditsinda ke tsaya ka imadi ke le mo business.
Thank you so much, Walter. Listen. Yours is just a concern. Gabz FM, you're live. Good morning. Hi.
Hello, Hone.
Hi, sir. You're live on air.
Good morning, Mogapi.
Era.
Hello, sir.
So ke batla go botsa gore ka on one hand go bona la gore bona le BDP le DBS le tlhakatlhakano e buwa ke Mogapi. On the other hand, kona le ka ha ba neng ba bua ka teng ka Zunaid Mothi ba bua ka ena gore re bo kona a tla ba a rekitse le hatsela Botswana ka teng ba quota investigative journalism in South Africa.
Okay.
Kora gore rona ya no re le Botswana ka ha ke UDC ina le tlhakatlhakano yone e go bona la gore ne ka re isa go yone ka ha ke BDP e mo tlhakatlhakano ya yone kwa ka ene tota mme rona re le Botswana re tshwantse go ha ka yana ha ile gore diparty di tona di mo seemo se senting ya ka go ntse yana. All
right, Tshepo, and then ga ke tsora wa di note re Mogapi.
No, actually, because really there's not been any question of relevance to the debate that
what we're talking about.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm not noting them, but I could just pass.
All right.
Answer them in passing. Yeah.
Tlaki boya ya bohelo ki are gaone. You remember Congo arranged a presidential debate prior to 2019 elections, and a government-sponsored debate was conducted. Kobi TV, Spencer Aleko, mmotse gore don't he think they tolerated that culture by President Masisi? All right, Spencer.
I don't know what he's talking about by tolerating that culture, because that debate that he's talking about was organized by the Department of Broadcasting, if I remember, and it was attended and all the leaders in the elections participated. I don't know why he's saying I don't know, anyway, but somebody will answer it. I don't understand the question, how relevant it is to the DBS issue here.
All right. And then I think you can just pass through
then the first speaker was about how can we have leaders who get any pleasure from knowing that their citizens are not able to bring together a debate like that. That's what we see. That I think that explains why Office of the President was saying DBS sponsored this thing. Why do we need DBS to sponsor a debate that we can easily sit under a tree and have it? I don't know. But look, for me, I think the most important things that we need to be talking about include issue beneficiation.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a lot of time, and I need to get over these things as important as quickly as possible.
Right.
Beneficiation, which was fairly much wanted. People were promising us that it was going to yield and unleash a lot of economic power for this country. It has not happened. So we really need to know why. These things are very important. We have brought in DBS here, relocated it from London to here. Has that really kind of opened up the kind of economic miracle we are hoping for? We need to know why it has not happened. You see what I'm saying? People were told at the time to start building houses, especially bigger houses, because DBS executives were coming here in multitudes. And people went into big debts, going to the bank, bought big chunks of land, especially at Pakalani, because they were told that DBS executives want big houses. Now people are asking themselves, I'm here indebted, but nobody has even come to get into my house. Where do you go? So we need to know why beneficiation seems to be failing. That's a very, very important thing. Is Botswana ready, for example, to become a beneficiation? Look, another thing, Botswana today is a global diamond center. We can't run away from it. But it will not always be like that. In fact, that title was held for a long time by South Africa during the Kimberley mines, if you remember. And then moved to Botswana here when we got Bo Rapa le Bojane. But it will move elsewhere soon or late. In fact, Angola, it looks like, is going to be the next global diamond center.
Right.
So those are the times that we need to be preparing for now. You see what I'm saying? And this debate was also going to discuss that.
All right. Spencer, let me just let you go, and I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit before I let you go. I'd like to just hear your opinion, your take on the president's threat to walk away from the negotiation table should we not get the chunk that we want.
Just you had a kind of cut off. I didn't hear.
I would like to hear, your take on or your thoughts, when the president sort of like threatened to walk away from the negotiation table. Should we not, get the bigger share of the diamond mining profits?
If the question is, should we be worried? Yes, we should be worried. Why? Because look, the Botswana mines, especially Jona mine, will be going underground. Not in a very long time down the line. And they are going to need an investment that is no less than 10 billion pula. Is Botswana ready to make such an investment into the mine without the DBS? So those are the questions that we are going to be pondering at this particular debate. You see? So a lot of things really, sadly, Botswana have been denied to talk about these issues openly, robustly, with people guiding the debate who know what. Sheila Kama, that people seem to be so scared of, so afraid of, is a true professional.
Yeah.
There's no how she is going to share with Spencer Mogapi the secrets that she would have known
when she was empty.
Years ago when she was at DBS. In fact, I've been with her for most of the last 2 weeks. She hasn't told me anything about these negotiations. I didn't even ask.
Right.
But the people seem to somehow think that she's just a guy who is going to share under a tree how DBS is run and the like. That's very fair. In fact, the DBS itself is registered in Luxembourg, the way I understand it. They should know these things, and when government comes to them saying, let's stop this debate, they should know what it means to European Union.
All right.
Because they are part of it, yes.
Thank you so much. A last message that says, such debates concerning BW diamond industry must be normalized, even at basic education. Our government is against discussions of what defines our economy. Only a few people. Thank you so much for that. And to you, Responsa Mogapi. We'll see. I mean, the government did make mention, maybe after the negotiations are concluded, then we can start having such debates. But at the end of the day, really, I think as a patriot, I would like to agree with what this person is saying, it's really important for us to be normalizing such conversations, even at a basic education level. I think I read something which was quite interesting the other day, where somebody was speaking to, the education system, basic education system in Russia, how a Russian child would be aware of, the diamond industry, how it's mined and, all of that at a basic education level. So I thought it was really interesting, something which we sort of do not have this side of the world. Thank you so much for this conversation, Mogapi.
Thank you very much. All I can assure your listeners is that we will be bringing more such debates, not just on diamond, because there are many other more important things.
Yeah.
We will be bringing experts to come and help us, to come and guide the debate. And nobody has any reason to be scared of those. In fact, people will get used to those things. I can assure your listeners that we will be bringing more of that.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much. It's just gone 10:37. Let's quickly go pay the bills.